Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If we can have your attention, please. Good evening and welcome to the election debate, the All Candidates Forum of the Cathedral Neighbourhood Association. Can you hear me now? Yeah. All right. My name is Murray Wood. I'm the news director of News Talk Radio. It's my pleasure to be your moderator for this evening. Nice to see so many people here because Montreal and Boston are playing. So I was giving you a second to go, Montreal, Boston, come on here. Thank you. So I'm going to call up Phil Russell, the president of the Cathedral Community Association, just to speak a bit about the rules for the event this evening, and then we will introduce your candidates and we'll be off. Phil?
Hi, there we go. My name is Phil Jeff. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you understand me? My name is Phil Jeffries. I'm the association president here for this year, and I'm so glad, happy to see such a great turnout for tonight for this candidates forum. It's important that everyone see and hear the candidates of their choice. I'll just give you a quick little rundown. We're here for the next 2 hours. 8:45 is the projected closing time tonight. We're going to have opening statements from each of the candidates for a few minutes, and we're then going to throw it open to an open mic, and someone will be taking this mic around to whoever of you wants to ask a question of the candidates, and we ask that you be brief and to the point with your questions. When we actually want questions that are relevant, hopefully to this riding as well as to the nation as a whole, whatever is important to you. And Murray will be looking after the proceedings from here on. And basically we want good 10 rounds of clean fighting, everything above the belt. And I'll throw it open to Murray. Thanks very much.
All right, thanks, Phil. So a quick overview of what's going to happen. We're going to have statements from the candidates to open off the evening. There will be one question that begins basically from the podium, and then after that the floor will be open to the audience. And as Phil suggested, you have 1 minute to ask a question, so no speeches. And Rob Rose, as the timekeeper, is going to be keeping an eye on both the candidates' times and your questions and responses there. That's good. So, with no further ado, the order of the candidates' speeches tonight was scientifically done just a few moments ago. They pulled some names from the cup, and Russ Collicott, the Liberal candidate, was up first. Mr. Collicott.
Thank you. I think we're all here tonight because some decisions are going to be made on May 2nd, obviously. My name is Russ Collicott. I'm the Liberal candidate for Palliser. I live in Moose Jaw. I raised my family there. Laurie and I own a small business downtown, and I'm a construction manager is what I do, and well, the rest of the time I'm not doing this, I suppose. I think that what kind of drew me to the discussion, I've been involved with the Liberal Party for a long time. Generally, I guess, would be one of the wonks, one of the policy guys, I guess is the way they put it, on the back end of it. But when approached to run here for Palliser under the Liberal banner, it was a pretty easy decision for me, especially the way I saw things going with the government that's just come to pass. I think we all have to make a choice on May 2nd. We have to make a choice between our families and family care, the pending health accord, post-secondary education, our retirements, expansion of the Canada Pension Plan, which has been suggested in a few quarters, and the continuation of green renovation tax credits and whatnot. Opposing those choices or those priorities, it's a pretty stark choice. We have a choice between fighter jets. We have a choice between fighter jets and family care. We have a choice with tax cuts for corporations, and lots has been made of the fact that those tax cuts have been on the books for a while, and lots has been made of the fact that it's a raise in taxes. It is a rollback to last year's level corporately, and it's a suspension of tax cuts, which will take us down to the 15% mark in the near future. I think it's a pretty stark choice. Earlier on today, I'm listening to the radio, and the way this is being couched now is, well, now, apparently if we don't give Mr. Harper and the Conservative government a majority, the country's going to come apart. That's, I don't know if anybody else heard that, but that's out today. You can check it out on YouTube. You can check it out on the news. You can look wherever you want. It's getting increasingly ridiculous and strident. And what I've seen this country go from is a social democracy. Now it's turned into some kind of plaything for the right wing. What it's really come down to is politics of fear instead of politics that affect our families. So we have to make a choice, and that's why I'm standing here. Okay, obviously I'm a little bit out of my element, but the fact of the matter is we got a choice between jets and jails and corporate tax cuts or families. Social spending which isn't willy-nilly or helter-skelter. It's social spending on things like family care for our older folks, post-secondary education, and the ability for all our young people to have a chance to go if they've got the grades. We're improving our environment through an existing platform we have, which is green tax credits and whatnot. It's a pretty stark choice, and I don't think that bringing fear into it has anything to do with it. So I suppose I'm the guy up at bat for the Liberals. Probably not your standard stump speech from someone like me. So I'm Russ Collicott, and I'm a Liberal candidate. Thank you.
Next up is the Democratic candidate, Noah Evanchuck.
Well, thank you everyone for attending. I must say I'm blown away by the number of people who are here at the Cathedral Forum. As a former resident of the Cathedral Neighbourhood and a proud former resident of the Cathedral Neighbourhood, it's so exciting to see a cross-section of our society here willing to put our feet to the fire, us candidates, our feet to the fire, and really challenge us and engage us in this process. I want to thank first off all of the other candidates who are here before you today. This is not an easy process for any of us. It shows our commitment to our country and our commitment to our democracy. And although we do have some policy differences, and I can assure you in some cases very big policy differences, really it's a matter of degree. We see what's going on across the world. We see people fighting and dying for just to have the right to enter a ballot box, a ballot booth, and mark their name on that ballot. And we should never take that for granted. Now, the reason I'm running, I'm 31 years old. I'm a practicing lawyer here in Regina at Andrews Banco. That law practice takes me all over the province, oftentimes in Moose Jaw as well. I have primarily an advocacy-based focus aimed at young people and individuals with mental health problems. And what I've seen in this city and across the province in recent years is that average everyday people are struggling to get ahead. Whether you're a young person who's taking out student loans and getting deeper and deeper in debt, not being able to afford your rent, as the guy in New York State running for governor said, the rent is too damn high. We see seniors struggling on fixed incomes, not being able to deal with the increased cost of living. And we see parents, and I'm glad to here today to see a number of parents with their kids to attend the forum. And I'm actually really tickled pink that my daughter Mila, my 4-year-old, is here in the audience as well, taking in her daddy's performance. Hi, Mila. And that's why I'm in this, friends, is I want to make life easier for you, all of you. There are a number of doable things we can do in this parliament and this election. Don't let anyone tell you there's such a thing as an unnecessary election. It should never be unnecessary for citizens. It should never be an unnecessary thing for citizens to choose the direction of their country. And I'm proud to put my name forward because I don't like the direction of our country right now. We've been in Afghanistan for longer than we've been in both the Second and First World Wars combined. As your MP, I'm going to fight to bring back the troops home immediately. I don't think it's right that climate change is not being addressed by this government, and I'm going to push to have immediate targets put in through the implementation of the Climate Change Accountability Act, which I might add was killed in the last Parliament by the unelected Senate. And that's another thing, is democratic reform, bringing in an abolition of the Senate by way of a referendum to the people of Canada. And this is something I've heard a lot of on the doorstep, but also I might add, changing our electoral system and bringing in proportional representation. I think most of you would agree with me, it is unfair that 900,000 people voted for a particular party in the last election and they did not have representation in the House of Commons. I look forward to the day when I can sit next to me in the House of Commons, even though she's of a different party, Larissa Shasko, someone I have a great deal of respect for. So and don't let anyone tell you you have no choice in this election. Canadian politics is not just a choice between the red team and the blue team, Coke and Pepsi. At the end of the day, those are both just sugar water. But what I'm offering you, what I'm offering you in this election is good old-fashioned orange juice orange. It's got vitamin C and it's good for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to deal with our healthcare system. We're going to expand it for future generations to deal with that aging population. We're going to deal with pensions. We're going to double the CPP. We're going to bring ethics and accountability back into Parliament. I think it is shameful that our Parliament, in the House of Commons, a government was held in contempt for the first time in the history of the Westminster model. I don't think it is shameful and it's unethical. If I were to act like that in my day-to-day life as a lawyer, I'd get disbarred. And my daughter, who's I can hear talking in the background, leaned over to me the other day when we were watching clips of Question Period and said, "Daddy, those grouchy men need a timeout." What I'm calling on you to do on May 2nd is to give Stephen Harper a timeout. Vote NDP. Thank you. Yeah.